It's a film about two sisters trying to survive in an apocalyptic world, only to find out their hopes of survival would depend on going against everything they believe to be true.
That's right. Local award-winning filmmaker Emil Ink released his latest project, Dead Community Guild, at a premiere event at Cinemark Amarillo Hollywood 16 over the weekend. And we got a chance to catch up with him and some of the lead actors from the project. That's in this morning's 806.
Turn around now and go back where you came from. There's nothing for you out here, nothing.
Dead Community Guild is the newest project.
Is this really it?
It looks like it, yeah.
Well, where is everyone, man?
From local award-winning filmmaker Emil Ink.
It started as a short film, and then when I watched that short, it was like 20 minutes. I was like, nah, this story needs completion. You know, it was way more needed to be said.
Ink also wrote and performed the original music in the film, which is about a dramatically changed and apocalyptic world with very little resources that makes the few remaining population desperate, ruthless, and barbaric.
If you're listening to this radio transmission, then write this down.
A series of mysterious radio broadcasts give a glimmer of hope of better life in the hard-to-find town of Bedford, Texas.
Well, I shoot everything on film, not digital or video. I shoot actually on a motion picture celluloid film. You know, I had to sit down, write it again, keep writing it more, and finally it kind of turned from almost nothing to this big deal.
Two sisters, Cassandra, played by Taylor Elizabeth Norman, and Becky, played by Karen Collin, rush to find the town and escape from past trauma, only to find the opposite of everything they believe.
You heard the radio transmissions yesterday yourself. I don't know why it's not on the map.
We play two half-sisters that try to make it through an apocalyptic world. My character, she tries to take care of her little sister, Becky, and we just try to figure out how to survive.
We developed the characters as the movie was going on. We got to know them along with the audience. It's just, as the movie continued, we learned who they were and who they were becoming and who they ended up being.
Taylor and Karen both tell us the best part of acting, the creative process as a whole.
Creating the characters, their backstories, and getting to develop them. I mean, it's a character that's skin when it's given to you. They've nothing, no details, and you get to create the bones, you get to create the backstory, you get to
develop your character however you see fit, as long as they fit within the movie. It's great just coming into character and playing somebody completely different. It's an art.
Nicholas Stevens plays T-Bone in the film.
Yep. Looks like two girls.
A big tough dude with no remorse. Stevens, who's also serving as producer on the project, describes T-Bone as a hammer and everything else around him is a nail.
I've always appreciated like film and TV shows, and I found myself kind of like acting out in my head how I would play certain parts, especially with my favorite characters. Especially on like Star Trek and stuff like that. I'm a huge Trek nerd.
And if you've ever wondered what a film producer does,
you know, putting together things for this premiere, taking care of things like, you know, maybe food for the, you know, shooting days, locations, stuff like that, just making sure everything's put together, putting together a schedule for the shooting, just a whole lot of admin work, basically.
We're told the film took about 4 years to complete, which Stevens and Emil tells us created continuity challenges at times, but was all worth it in the end to see the finished project at the sold-out premiere.
The love for film. You know, I grew up watching films, man, you know, like and I'm a big buff of the 80s and 90s films, you know. I grew up watching all those great classics. When you love it so much, you're gonna end up doing it eventually, you know?
Emil tells us he's already working on his next film, which is a dark comedy.
He says Dead Community Guild has a premiere this week in New York and will start the festival circuit in about a month.
And for more 806 features on local businesses and people doing some really cool things, head to myhighplains.com.